Lineup put together by Don Mattingly with Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, and Adrian Gonzalez. Turner in the cleanup spot, Ethier in left. Puig's got a 9-game hitting streak. Grandal back in the lineup for the first time in 5 days. Peterson in center. Kike Hernandez the afternoon off. Zach Greinke pitching and batting ninth against 25-year-old Anthony DeSclafani.
And for a rookie making his 30th major league start overall, he is up there in the rookie leaders. He's thrown the ball well against the Dodgers. Zach Greinke beat him 2-1 back at Dodger Stadium, but 7th in ERA for rookies, tied for 3rd with wins. And he's one of the guys that really goes out there for these Reds. The rest of their rotation, they have 32 career starts among the 4 of them.
DeSclafani, he's out of New Jersey. He was traded from the Marlins to the Reds for Matt Latos. Latos, of course, going to pitch for the Dodgers Saturday at Dodger Stadium against the Cubs. And so the Dodgers, who've won the last 2 after dropping the previous 5, they're 2-5 on the trip, 18-17 since the All-Star break. Jimmy Rollins stepping in, and away we go. Rollins takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Jimmy at 223, 13 home runs, and 41 runs batted in. DeSclafani deals, and is quickly 0-2. So DeSclafani and Greinke, this is a rematch. Faced each other 11 days ago. Greinke, by the way, hit a home run off him. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Utley on deck and Gonzalez to follow. And DeSclafani deals inside and low, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. DeSclafani, one of 8 rookie pitchers to have started for the Reds this year. This is his 25th start of the season. And the 2-2. Low and outside, 3-2.
The Dodgers would like to break really quickly in this game, hoping the Reds would just kind of roll over the possible sweep at hand.
Ball strike 3. Rollins thought it was ball 4. Defensively behind DeSclafani, Skip Schumacher's in left field. Jason Bourgeois is in center. Hamilton on the DL with a bad shoulder. Jay Bruce in right. Frazier, Suarez, Phillips, and Votto in the infield, and Tucker Barnhart, the switch hitting catcher behind the plate. Chase Utley stepping in now. Utley in his 6th game with the Dodgers. Had a hit and a walk and a run scored last night. Takes a strike, 0-1. Yesterday, Utley was taking some ground balls at third base. So as Howie Kendrick draws closer to a return, try to preserve Turner as best as they can in terms of health. We may be seeing Utley play some third base down the stretch. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
He's been taking the ground balls, but they're not giving him an awful lot because he's playing every day, and they don't want to stretch his arm out too much over there at third when they're working on things.
So Utley with the Dodgers is 3 for 19. 2 doubles and a single. Just underway in Cincinnati, where they've had a long, torturous season. They're 21 games under 500, 28.5 behind the Cardinals. Redlegs have lost 11 of their last 12. 10 of their last 11 at home. Chopped foul past Davey Lopes, and the count is 2-2. The Dodgers have always enjoyed coming to the Great American Ballpark. 26-18 visiting Cincinnati. Great American Ballpark is now about 15 years old. Capacity of about 40,000. Sparsely populated on this Thursday matinee. 2-2. Utley down on strike, so DeSclafani strikes out the first 2 batters of the ball game.
Zach Greinke has enjoyed the Great American Ballpark also. He's 4-1 in his career here. Well, when you think about Zach Greinke and being a stopper, now he's going to be a topper today, try and top off this sweep.
Adrian Gonzalez stepping in. And of course, Greinke had his 8-game winning streak come to an end over the weekend in Houston. And Gonzalez fooled, and it's 0-1. Adrian at 288, 24 home runs and 72 runs batted in. And he has enjoyed coming here. Fair ball. Gonzalez breaks his bat, and the inning is over. A quick, efficient inning for Anthony DeSclafani. Zach Greinke getting ready for his 20th. Phillips, Suarez, and Bruce through the middle of the order. Jason Bourgeois in center. The switch hitting catcher Tucker Barnhart. Anthony DeSclafani pitching and batting ninth against 31-year-old Zach Greinke, his 26th start of the year.
And Zach is going to look to start his winning streak over again. I think we're going to see some hard stuff from him today to keep the ball out of the air. The slider and the two-seamer for sure. And the four-seamer, when he goes to that, I think he's going to try and jam people. Keep the ball out of the air.
Lowest ERA in the big leagues. Greinke delivers a strike, 0-1. And opponents are hitting just 191 against him, which is also the lowest figure. Schumacher at 217. Takes inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Zach Greinke gets better as the year goes on throughout his career. In August, his career record 26-14. And in September, 28-10. So in the last 2 months of the season, throughout his entire career, he's got a .692 winning percentage. 30 games over 500 when it's counted most.
Tells you how he deals with pressure. Tells you how he takes care of himself for the full season.
The 1-2 is under the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's a lot more than just, eating right, getting your sleep, knowing how to practice. Not so many pitches in your side works, how you play catch, how you rest, and also stay in good form. He's had amazing control this year and throughout his career.
Schumacher is down on strikes. For Zach Greinke, that is his 156th strikeout of the year against just 29 walks. Defensively behind him today, it'll be Ethier in left. Jock Peterson is back in center field, and Yasiel Puig in right. Turner and Rollins on the left side of the infield, and Chase Utley, Adrian Gonzalez on the right side. And Yasmani Grandal's body is generally battered and beaten, as most catchers are this time of year, so he's sat it out the last 4 or 5 days. He's had neck and shoulder issues. And that's drilled into left field, but right at Andre Ethier. Todd Frazier couldn't have hit the ball any harder, and there's 2 out.
Zach wanted to know where the location of that pitch was right away. Not used to having somebody hit the ball that hard. That's the thing he really wants to avoid today, is any hard hit balls in the air. A little breeze out there on the field, seems to be blowing out a little bit.
Now with 2 out, Joey Votto stepping in. Votto at 306 and 107 walks. Second in the league in on-base percentage. Votto on a pace to lead the league in walks for the 4th time in the last 5 years.
With all those walks, you'd think maybe they'd want him up a slot in the order, maybe in the 2-hole. As much pressure as he puts on the pitcher as far as not wanting anybody on base. He's a gap-to-gap hitter. He's got some power back this year.
24 home runs this season, and if he takes a strike, it's 2-1.
And in the 2-hole, if the leadoff hitter gets on, that normally Billy Hamilton, you've got that hole to work with on the right side also.
He's walking, yes indeed. Under the knees, 3 balls and 1 strike to Joey Votto with Brandon Phillips on deck.
Thing about that 2-hole also is that he's going to get up 20 more times during the course of the season, being up 1 slot. Yesterday, the game ended with Votto in the on-deck circle.
Dodgers hung on to beat the Reds 7-4, and here's the 3-1 to Votto. A ground ball on 2 hops right to Jimmy Rollins. He throws him out in a 1-2-3 inning for Zach Greinke. Nothing across. We'll go to the second. Justin Turner, 51 runs batted in, and he has hit well here during the course of his career. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Turner last night singled in 5 at-bats. Turner's been in a slump over the last 3 weeks or so. Takes outside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Mr. Blue Legs today, Justin Turner. The Reds have the mascot, Mr. Red Legs.
2 balls and a strike. Initially, the Reds were the Cincinnati Red Stockings. Then they became the Red Legs. Then they just shortened it to Reds. Here's 2-1, line into left center field for a base hit. Well struck by Turner, a leadoff single in the second.
The high pants worked. The Blue Sox have the power this afternoon. Back home in LA this morning. Line drive up the middle. Justin Turner right on it. Starting to heat back up.
Ethier stepping in with 12 home runs and 39 runs batted in. Ethier did not start either Tuesday or Wednesday, but with a couple of lefties going. And Ethier takes a breaking ball for a strike. Puig is on deck. Dodgers have beaten the Reds 5 out of 6 this year. They were 4-3 against Cincinnati last year. Dodgers offense has awakened the past couple of games here at the Great American Ballpark after the Astros and the A's silenced the Dodger bats.
5 runs in game 1 here and 7 yesterday. We need that kind of production again today. I'd like to see some support for the Cy Young candidate Zach Greinke, who has suffered as far as run support this year.
Well, suffering is relative. He's 13-3.
And a 1.67 in 25 starts, 23 quality starts. He could have 20 wins already the way he's been throwing the ball.
3 balls and a strike to Ethier with Puig coming up next. This time a year ago, the Dodgers 70-55, and this afternoon they're 69-56. A game off last year's pace when they won 94. 3-1, Turner a short lead. Drilled into left field for a base hit, so the Dodgers have something doing here in the second. Back-to-back singles for Turner and Ethier.
This base hit, Andre, ball's low and away, maybe outer half, and he does a nice job just staying inside the ball and driving it over there, getting the ball in the air at that height down by his knees. He did a nice job getting the barrel under that one.
Now here's Puig, who's been heating up. 9-game hitting streak. Last night he homered, his 11th of the year, as he steps in with 38 runs batted in, and he takes outside and low. 1 ball and no strikes. In the 9-game hitting streak, Puig is 11 for 34, a .324 clip. This is about as consistent as Puig has been all year, the past couple of weeks.
Just looks so much calmer in the batter's box. It doesn't look like he is grinding at all mentally. Really comfortable with what the plan is when he goes to get in the box. You don't see him like demoing his swing or deciding, oh, I've got to keep my shoulder in, or hitting himself in the helmet with his bat. the gyrations that we'll see sometimes when he's struggling. Very precise movements as he gets ready.
Into right field for a base hit. Turner will be held at third by Ron Reddicke, and now the bases are loaded and nobody out.
Justin Turner takes the ball up the middle. Andre Ethier goes oppo to left field, and now Yasiel Puig stays on this ball and hits it to right. Inside out swing, a ball that was supposed to be away ended up in on him, and he did a nice job getting it off of himself.
So here's Grandal, his first game in about 5. Shoulder, neck, back. That 125 games into a season behind the plate. And he looks one foul. No balls and 1 strike to Yasmani Grandal. This is only the 4th time all year he has come to bat with the bases loaded. 1 for 3. And with runners in scoring position, 302. Altogether, 15 home runs, 44 runs batted in. The Dodgers in business in the 2nd. And it looks like a 4-6-3 double play. It is. Turner comes in to score. The Dodgers take a 1-0 lead.
No RBI for Yasmani. Even though the Dodgers get the run, Turner scoring this double play. Brandon Phillips kind of botches it a little bit, but Yasmani doesn't get out of the box and doesn't run all that well. You see the off balance feed by Brandon, but still got the double play. Yasmani got a pretty good pitch to hit.
So the Dodgers score 1. Ethier's at third with 2 out. And the slumping Jock Peterson stepping in. Down to 2-14. The shift is on for him on the right side. Takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Outfield essentially straight away. But the infield has 3 defenders, Suarez, Phillips, and Votto on the right side. Up high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
See a change Jock's made already. He doesn't have the lean working where he leans back as the pitcher comes set, and then his head goes forward, and then his head goes forward again towards the pitcher. He's only got 1 placement for the head.
1-1.
Nice and still.
2 balls and a strike to Jock Peterson. Of course, he was the finalist against Todd Frazier, the Red third baseman, in the home run derby. It has come undone for Peterson since the All-Star game. The 2-1. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He swings and misses, but I think the head position and how still it is staying. It's still moving forward, but they are working real hard for him to be able to track the ball a little bit better.
Greinke on deck. Dodgers with an early 1-0 lead. DeSclafani on 2-2. Chopper behind the bag at second. Suarez throws him out, and that'll end the inning. Inning of great expectations, but the Dodgers do come up with a run. Had bases loaded, nobody out. We'll go to the bottom of the 2nd. Greinke has a 1-0 lead to work with. Greinke has pitched at least 6 innings in each of his 25 starts this year. A strike on the outside corner, 0-1. In 7 of his starts, he has pitched 7 shutout innings. One of 4 pitchers in the majors to do that. Greinke and Kershaw, Dallas Keuchel, and Jacob deGrom. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. So he's been a model of consistency, the lowest DRA and the lowest opponent's batting average. 13-3. And just 29 walks in 173 innings. Phillips with a chopper to third. Nice room service hop for Turner. So Phillips retired, and Suarez stepping in. 298 with 9 home runs and 35 runs batted in. Last night 0 for 4 and a walk, and was hitless in 4 at-bats in the series opener on Tuesday.
See Zach missing down. He is really concentrated on keeping the ball down. 2 ground balls to 1 ball in the air. The line out to left so far, the other out, a strikeout. Liberal strike call right there.
Outside. Eugenio Suarez came over from the Rangers over the winter in the deal that sent Alfredo Simon, or rather from the Tigers. Two balls and a strike. Suarez out of Venezuela, big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's that changeup slash two-seamer that Zach throws that has such outstanding downward movement.
About to throw his 19th pitch. Here it comes. Low and outside is 3-2. So the Reds sent a starter, veteran Simon, to the Tigers, and they get an everyday shortstop out of the deal. And Suarez, in his rookie year with the Reds, has performed well. 9 home runs, 35 runs batted in. On 3-2. We'll do it again. Suarez played 81 games last year in Detroit. Looks like he is entrenched at short for a while now. Into short right. Puig is there. 2 gone in the second.
Zach continues to hit his spots, not giving in to the middle of the plate. That count got built because he was trying to hit the edges. Finally made a really nice pitch there, 3-2.
Now Jay Bruce stepping in. Bruce struck out in key moments last night and the night before. Each time by Luis Avilan. Bruce at .233, 18 home runs and 69 runs batted in. 1-1. Bruce struck out with the bases loaded on Tuesday night in the 8th inning on a breaking ball. And when he was the lead run at the plate in the bottom of the 8th last night, Avilan struck him out with a fastball up and in.
It was interesting to read the comments, how they went completely opposite as the night before. Thought he'd be looking for that breaking ball.
Utley's got an easy play. Bruce is done, and Greinke has retired each of the first 6 batters he has faced. And he'll be leading off for the Dodgers when we come back for the top half of the 3rd. And Greinke at .226. Greinke lines one toward the left field corner and foul. So 11 days ago at Dodger Stadium. Note the bat flip. So 2 home runs for Zach Greinke. He's at the back end of a back-to-back home run pairing with Jock Peterson. Greinke, a Silver Slugger Award winner. No balls and 2 strikes.
He has 6 career home runs. 226 this year. They got to get guys on there. 2 home runs, only 3 RBIs.
On 0-2. Down on strikes. 3rd strikeout for DeSclafani. The Giants are in town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and be sure to get your tickets and show up to the stadium wearing your Dodger blue. To purchase, visit Dodgers.com/tickets. After today, 6 difficult games ahead for the Dodgers. The red-hot Cubs are in over the weekend. And the Giants Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. For the Dodgers, love to complete the sweep here against a team that, frankly, they should be sweeping the way things have gone. And Rollins grounds it foul. Giants tonight will be hosting the Cubs. 3 games in the loss column. The Dodgers have an advantage on San Francisco. Arizona, San Diego's had a bad couple of days. Colorado's had a bad year. 2-1 to Jimmy Rollins. Took a called 3rd strike in his first at bat.
And when you play the better teams in the beginning of the year, you look at it as kind of a measuring stick of how your roster is doing and what adjustments you need to make. But now at this time of year, it's no longer the measuring stick. This is the race.
Game to game. And Mattingly's team 13 over 500 after today, 36 to go. And Rollins rolls it foul.
Don Mattingly has really shown the urgency of the end of the year now with the way he's been managing the bullpen. It's not that, okay, so-and-so's got the 7th and so-and-so's got the 8th and then Kenley's got the 9th. It's whatever it takes to get to Kenley Jansen now. We've used 5 relievers in each of the last 2 games.
3-2. Rollins takes inside, ball 4. First walk given up by DeSclafani. Well, last night, Johnson, Howell, Nicasio, Avilan, and Jansen. Hatcher, Howell, Nicasio, Avilan, and Jansen on Tuesday night. From a strategic point of view, taking a page out of the Bruce Bochy songbook. Situation to situation and finding a way to get to the 9th. So the last couple of games, the piecemeal approach has worked.
4 of the 5 guys have gone back-to-back. Jim Johnson and Chris Hatcher are the only ones that went on individual nights. J.P. Howell and Nicasio and Avilan and Kenley Jansen. If they have to pitch today, that'd be 3 in a row for those guys.
Well, Howell threw 5 pitches, Nicasio 6, and Avilan 4 last night. Of course, that doesn't include the warm-up tosses and all of that, but stretching them out over an inning has proven on occasion to be rather counterproductive. The Dodger bullpen ERA is 4.16, 13th in the league. Little chopper up the first base line. This is going to be a tough play. The throw is not going to be in time. So Chase Utley once again showing no ill effects with that ankle. Beats out the little squibber, and the Dodgers have first and second and 1 man out.
Swinging bunt, and it's absolutely perfect. At a point where the first baseman can't charge it and get you and tag you. The pitcher can't reach it in time, and Barnhart's got to make a play, but with catcher speed coming that far from behind home plate, Chase Utley, a middle infielder, he's going to beat it out.
So here's Gonzalez with a couple of runners aboard. Rollins at second base, and his old Philly running mate Chase Utley at first. 1-0 Dodgers in the 3rd. No balls and a strike to Adrian Gonzalez, who grounded weakly to first base in his first at-bat.
Big RBI last night for Adrian Gonzalez to stretch the lead in the 9th before the Dodgers had to shut them down. It was 6-4, and he got that 7th run in.
309 hitter with runners in scoring position. Inside. Gonzalez 24 home runs and 72 runs batted in. 143rd day of the season, and the Dodgers have been in first place for 133 of them. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now it's 1-2. The only team that's been in first place longer than the Dodgers, the Cardinals, 137 days. But the Dodgers, of course, are feeling the hot breath of the Giants on the back of their necks. DeSclafani, a Jersey boy, on 1-2 to Gonzalez. That hurt.
It hurts even worse when you've had 2 pitches in the at-bat that you've missed and you've gotten mad at yourself, and now they come fastball in and you wound yourself. You missed the pad. Let's take a look, see where it gets him. Oh,
above the pad.
Off his right knee.
Brennan Bosch, out of Harvard Westlake, a bench player for the Reds, whacked one off his ankle the other day, has not been able to play the last 4 or 5 days. On 1-2, Gonzalez rips it foul. That almost got a piece of Davy Lopes.
He's still shaking off the pain from that foul ball off his knee. Probably hurt for about a week.
Gonzalez at 287. Turner on deck and Ethier to follow. A walk and a swing and bunt. The Dodgers have first and second with 1 out. Gonzalez down on strikes. 4th strikeout for DeSclafani. 2 out. Turner coming up. On Tuesday night, Justin Turner with a 2-run shot. Turner has a career high 15 home runs, equaling a career high 51 runs batted in.
He was mired in a pretty long slump coming into that at bat. That home run started to get him back on track.
Got a hit last night in 5 at bats and singled to center and scored the first run of the game in the 2nd inning this afternoon. Takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Justin didn't like that call at all, and I don't think Pitch Tracks is going to like it either.
Two out, 2 on in the 3rd. Remember, the Dodgers in the 2nd inning had the bases loaded, nobody out. They did manage a run. They have first and second with 1 out. Now there's 2 gone. They've had their chances to this point. Oh for 3, runners in scoring position so far this afternoon. And on 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In Houston and Oakland, where the Dodgers could barely buy a run, they were 2 for 26 with runners in scoring position.
That is very frustrating for an offense. Mark McGwire is pulling his hair out.
So they've had their chances. Dodgers lead the National League in on-base percentage, and yet are 7th in the league in runs scored. 2-2, and DeSclafani deals. Turner into right. Bruce is there, and that's going to do it. No runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 left after 2.5. Dodgers 1 and the Reds nothing. Wishes to retire the first 6 batters of the game. He misses outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Tucker Barnhart on deck, and then the pitcher, DeSclafani. On the second hop, Rollins throws out the speedy Bourgeois, and that's the first out of the third. 7 up and 7 down. Greinke with the lowest ERA in Major League Baseball. Second is Sonny Gray of Oakland. Jake Arrieta is third with a 2.22 ERA. As a red flag of warning goes up, Arrieta will bring a 10-1 road record to Dodger Stadium on Saturday, and past a diving Jimmy Rollins. A base hit into left for Tucker Barnhart.
Zach had retired 7 in a row, 4 ground balls, a pop-up, a line drive, a strikeout, and now this line drive finds a hole. It's an outstanding pitch, even better piece of hitting. Jimmy really gave it his best effort right there to try and keep it a hitless game.
DeSclafani stepping in. He's got a couple of sacrifices this year. In 44 at-bats, he's been struck out 24 times. Has 7 hits. And there he goes swinging, or attempting to bunt, and fouls it into the dirt. It's 0-1. Skip Schumacher is on deck. Greinke, the Major League's lowest ERA at 1.65. There's a strike, and it's 0-2 to Anthony DeSclafani.
Zach Greinke and Adrian Gonzalez having a little chat, probably on pitch selection. So Adrian knows whether he's going to charge hard or not.
He'll start out by holding Barnhart at first. DeSclafani bunts it foul. He has been struck out.
Zach decided to go with a high cutter away, and Adrian stayed at home. Zach was going to cover the bunt on the first base side.
Now Skip Schumacher stepping in. Skip struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Spent a year with the Dodgers and had the time of his life. Born in Torrance, lives down in Ladera Ranch in Orange County. He and Nick Punto used to carpool together to work. A 5th round pick of the Cardinals in 2001. Schumacher made it to the major leagues in 2005, and I remember when Tony La Russa was the manager of the Cardinals. We're in Vero Beach, and he pointed out to that little fella in the outfield. He said, "You watch him. He knows how to play the game. He's not going to be a big star, but he knows how to play." Skip Schumacher. Here's a 2-0. Here's a strike, 2-1. Well, when you get a scouting report like that from Tony La Russa, he had it nailed.
Zach with the curveball right there, trying to backdoor, caught the middle of the plate.
Past Turner into left field. Holding at second base with 2 out is Barnhart. Turner landed hard on that dive on the shoulder.
Skip Schumacher laid off the curveball and got on the 2-seam changeup right there. Ball was up, and he just stayed on top of it, hit that line drive. JT made a nice effort. Hopefully he's not shaken up.
Took a pretty good tumble, and Todd Frazier coming up. Frazier lined to left in his first at bat. Stumbled out of the gates after the All-Star break. Last couple of weeks he's been heating up. Tied for the major league lead in doubles and extra base hits. Last 15 games he's hitting .328. Dodgers 1-0, 2-on, 2 out of the bottom of the third. And it's 0-2. Frazier in the first 23 games after the All-Star break was hitting just .148. Over the past couple of weeks, he's at .320. No balls and 2 strikes. Barnhart at second, Schumacher at first. Greinke has thrown 12 pitches in this inning. Now he's got the sign from Grandal. 1-2.
The only time this series has been tied is when it's been 0-0. Other than that, the Dodgers have always been ahead. The tone of the series is all blue. Cincinnati trying to change the story here.
Missing outside, 2-2. And while the Dodgers took leads in each of the first 2 games, they were up against the ropes late in both of them.
First and second, 2 out. Jay Bruce up. Bases loaded. 2 out. Jay Bruce up. And to the rescue, Luis Avilan.
In the 8th inning of both games. Here's the 2-2. We'll do it again. Dodgers last night had a 6-0 lead with 2 out and nobody on in the bottom of the 7th. Reds would score 3 unearned runs. Scored another run in the bottom of the 8th, which set up that dramatic moment between Avilan and Bruce. And for the second time in as many nights, Avilan got the best of the Red right fielder. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Got him, swinging. 3rd strikeout of the game for Greinke. To the left in the 2nd inning. Dodgers with a 1-0 lead, and Ethier takes a strike, and it's 0-1. It is fascinating the detail with which the fingertips and the hand and how the handle of the bat varies from one bat to the next.
It's a fun factory to go to in any of the bat factories, but Louisville is a lot of fun. When you first get to the big leagues, they give you a dozen bats in block printing. And mine were just the last name and was spelled Harry Hyper. When you finally get to the big leagues and get a contract with Louisville, though, they flame your signature in the bat.
2 balls and a strike to Ethier. 3-1. So you sign a piece of paper and then they somehow get it into the.
That's your exact signature. It's awesome. It's right up there with your first baseball cards when you get that autographed bat.
Ethier takes a strike. 3-2.
Andres had a good eye through this whole year. Really locked in. Got that one right.
Beginning the 4th, Ethier drills a base hit over Brandon Phillips. Andre Ethier is 2 for 2. As the season wears on, Ethier's bat is heating up.
Not sure that new custom bat that he was making at the factory is going to make it into the rotation. He keeps swinging the bat like this. But guys will change length and ounce as they go throughout the year, depending on the pitcher they're facing, depending on how they're feeling, how strong they are. Some guys will drop as much as an ounce as the season wears on and they get tired.
Puig with a single to right in his first at-bat extends his hitting streak to 10 games. No balls and a strike. Puig cracked his 11th home run of the year last night. It was a 2-run shot in the 4th. Grandal on deck. Schumacher very deep in left for Puig. So last night against the beleaguered David Holmberg, who gave up 3 home runs to the Dodgers 12 days ago, gave up 3 more last night. And Puig got one of them. 0-2 to Yasiel Puig. Ethier a short lead at first. Puig hit a home run off Holmberg back at Dodger Stadium. He'd love to see him again. The Reds have gone through 8 rookie starting pitchers this year. Here's the 1-2. Puig down on strikes. That's the 5th strikeout for DeSclafani.
It's an outstanding pitch right here, but this is the pitch that Yasiel struggles with. That slider low and away. He's hunting fastballs so much, and the slider looks like a fastball, ends up breaking off the plate.
1 out, 1 on. Grandal stepping in. With the bases loaded, nobody out in the 2nd. Grandal, after missing 5 games, bounced into a double play. That would score the Dodgers' only run. Yasmani takes a strike, 0-1.
Las Diaz seems to have a very wide strike zone today. We've seen 3 or 4 balls off the plate being called for strikes.
No balls and 2 strikes to Grandal. A first-round pick of the Reds, 12th pick overall in 2010. The number 1 pick in 2010, Bryce Harper. 0-2. And Grandal looks like he's going to bounce into the 2nd double play. And he does. That'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. After 3.5, the Dodgers. So the Dodgers with a run and 5 hits. They've left 3. No runs, 2 hits for the Reds, and they've left a pair. Votto bounced to short in his first at-bat. .24 home runs and 62 runs batted in. And a .446 on base percentage. 2 balls and no strikes.
He will make you throw a strike. He does not come out of his game no matter what the situation. He will jump on a first pitch fastball if you just lay it down the middle.
3 balls and no strikes. Votto scored 75 runs this year, so he's been in the top 10 of a lot of key offensive categories all year. 3 balls and a strike. Greinke getting the sign from Yasmani Grandal. It's 3-2. So we marvel at Joey Votto and his .446 on base percentage. Then we take a step back and look at Ted Williams. Williams in his career had a .482 on base percentage. He was on base half the time. A splendid splitter. And he missed 3 of his big years going off to fight in World War II. So Votto flies to center, first out of the 4th.
That's quite a battle right there for Zach Greinke. That's absolutely amazing to think about what Ted Williams did. To be on base half the time for your whole career.
And a lifetime batting average of .344.
Some of the best eye that I've ever faced was Tony Gwynn. Otto is right in that category.
So 1 out, and Brandon Phillips stepping in. Bounced to third in his first at-bat. Into center field. Peterson's got a long way to go, but he'll track it down. The wind is blowing in today. There's 2 out.
It does. It seems to be swirling. In the first couple innings, Zach Greinke's hair was kind of blown out, but now it's really started to change. You're right, Charlie. He's coming off the Ohio River. It seems to be coming from left to right, knocking those balls down.
71 degrees at game time. A little more wind this afternoon than each of the first 2 nights. And comfortably cool on this Thursday afternoon. Eugenio Suarez flied to right in his first at-bat. And the 0-1 inside. Walt Jocketty, the general manager, took a lot of heat trading Alfredo Simon to the Tigers over the winter. They got this shortstop that nobody had ever heard of. Well, Suarez has done nicely. Been flirting with 300 most of the year. Hit a home run against the Dodgers a couple of weeks back. 9 of them on the season. From 1970 to 2004, the Reds had 2 shortstops. Davey Concepcion and Barry Larkin. And 30-something others have come and gone.
They were playing mostly on that AstroTurf there, which can beat your body up, but those guys stayed healthy and played a long, long time. Davey Concepcion actually invented that bounce throw across the infield.
And now perhaps Suarez could provide a little stability at that position, something they haven't had in a long time. On 3-2. Suarez is down, and that is the 4th strikeout of the game for Zach Greinke, who has brought his A game today. He has struck out 4, hasn't walked anybody, given up a couple of hits. Peterson and Greinke. Much better sense of the direction this club is heading down the final 5 weeks of the season by a week from today.
I'm working hard to get some tickets for that Saturday. I got a lot of friends and family that want to come out.
Just grab a handful of pins, like after dinner mints. Just pick them up, put them in your pocket, tell them you know people.
They want to come to the game. They want to see the Dodgers. They don't want the pin. This is a big Saturday game against the Cubs. The pin they can get anytime. Just swing by the house.
Halloween.
Grab one out of yeah, Halloween. No candy. I don't know. It's probably against the law to give away pins.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be Hamill and Kershaw tomorrow night. Lester and Latos on Saturday. Arrieta and Wood on Sunday. And Peterson takes a strike. 3-1. Jock Peterson getting the start today. He bounced to short in his first at-bat. Of course, he has been mired in quite a slump. Down 2-14. Three and 2.
Chuck gets in between right here.
So DeSclafani fell behind 3-0. Now the count is 3-2. Peterson leading off in the 5th. Takes call, strike 3. Peterson dropped the bat, was about to get rid of the elbow guard. He walks away and leaves the bat at the plate.
Looked like a strike, especially 3-2. You got to protect. It's almost like Jock has trouble picking that ball up. We see him so many times end up 15, 20 feet down the first baseline on a 3-2 pitch thinking it's a ball. And he gets rung up and has to walk back to the dugout.
Zach Greinke takes a strike, 0-1. So DeSclafani has struck out 6, walked 1 batter. Greinke's got a 1-0 lead. Zach struck out his first at bat. Takes outside, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Rollins on deck. Dodgers continue to let the Reds hang around. 1-2.
The last 2 games, even though the Dodgers are working on a sweep, they didn't really let them hang around, but they tried to crawl back in it with 1 big swing.
Backhanded and short by Suarez. Made it look easy.
Wow, that was smooth. Morongo slow-mo cam this replay right here. Just the smooth, soft hands of Suarez.
So we've seen him play 6 games, and he looks like a really solid player.
He sure does. Not a lot of flash, but boy, just picks it all.
Along with 9 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Suarez right around 300. And so Jocketty, who got crushed in trading away Simon, has come away with a pretty good looking shortstop. 2 out, nobody on. Rollins has walked and struck out. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Utley on deck, and Rollins pops it up left side. Todd Frazier in foul territory, and that'll do it. So the Dodgers go quietly in the 5th, nursing a 1-0 lead. Gonzalez, Jay Bruce leads it off in the bottom of the 5th, and Greinke delivers a strike. It's 0-1. It'll be Bruce, Bourgeois, and Barnhart. I guess the Reds version of the Killer Bees. Bruce bounced to second in his first at bat. Jay Bruce, 18 home runs and 69 runs batted in. Dodgers a run and 5 hits. The Reds no runs and 2 hits. There is a reason why Van Slyke has taken over at first. Inside and low. That is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gonzalez whacked one off the knee in his last at-bat. Used to be a bruise, is now a contusion.
Swelling has come in and shut down the knee. I'm sure he's having trouble bending it. They want to get some ice on it, get the therapy started as soon as possible. The Dodgers don't have many off days the rest of the year.
Bruce takes inside. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. For the Dodgers, this is their 126th game. Adrian Gonzalez has played in 123 of them. 3-2 to Bruce. Outside ball 4. First walk of the game given up by Zach Greinke. So Van Slyke takes over at first. And here is the reason why. If you take a look on Carl's cam. Right there.
Feels a lot worse too when he ended up striking out. Adrian is the Dodger Iron Man when it comes to games played.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw to second base, backed up nicely by Chase Utley. Boy, the throw had some tail on it. You see, those are the little things. When a guy like Utley and Rollins, they've been together for so long.
Bourgeois tries to hit and run right there, and Jay Bruce gets a good jump, looks in to see if the ball's in play. It's not. Gets down.
Bourgeois, did he go around? No, says first base umpire Chris Guccione.
Remember, Yasmani Grandal's throwing shoulder was not the injured one. It was his non-throwing shoulder as we look at that check swing.
For Jay Bruce, his 9th stolen base of the year. Second runner in scoring position for the Reds. Bourgeois 1 and 2.
Bourgeois trying to take a shot at the right side right there, and that slider. Zach Greinke is dotting that outside corner, keeping the ball down really well today.
Bourgeois taking over for the injured Billy Hamilton, now with a bad shoulder. Tucker Barnhart on deck. Blocked nicely by Grandal, and it's 2 and 2.
Good block, saved 90 feet. Stick in the glove.
Nobody out in the 5th. The Dodgers lead is 1-0. Bruce with good speed at second base, and Bourgeois fouls it up the third base line. The only other matinee this afternoon, Angels and Tigers are scoreless in the 4th inning in Detroit. While the Angels trail the red-hot Astros by 6 in the American League West, Anaheim is just 1 game behind in the wild card race. Bourgeois fouls it off to the right.
Bourgeois making it a battle for Zach Greinke out there now with his pitch count at 66.
12 pitches into the 5th inning. The Bruce walk, stolen base. The Dodger lead tenuous at 1-0. Bourgeois is not going to go quietly.
Wouldn't be surprised if Zach decides to throw the slow curveball, but keep it real low and away, get him to roll over, get that out to the left side.
Bourgeois grounded to short in his first at-bat, and on the 8th pitch of the battle, Greinke wins it with his 5th strikeout of the game.
Went with the breaking ball, but not the slow curve ball. Went with the hard slider. He's been throwing this most of the day. That Skip Schumacher to strike out on that pitch. That was a big strikeout, saving that 90 feet.
Tucker Barnhart singled to left in his first at-bat. Devin Mesoraco out for the year with the hip. And so Barnhart and Pena have taken over behind the plate. Barnhart at 262, 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in. His 55th game. Greinke misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. DeSclafani on deck. So this is a real first taste of trouble for Greinke this afternoon. Missing outside, 2-1.
He knows there's nobody up in the Red bullpen. He knows he's got the pitcher on deck, not necessarily pitching around Barnhart, as you'd have to face possibly Skip Schumacher in the 1 hole, and he's got a hit off of him.
There's a strike, 2-2.
Definitely pitching him tough and picking who he wants to get out and on what count, not giving in. Throwing this curveball here to steal a strike to make the count 2-2.
Barnhart has struck out only 28 times in 167 at-bats. Greinke with 5 strikeouts and 1 walk this afternoon. And the 2-2. Chopped foul.
15 pitches an inning. 5 innings would be 75. Zach Greinke now at 73, so this inning has really changed his pitch count. Still in order, but definitely having to work a little harder right here.
This will be the 20th pitch of this inning. It began with a Bruce walk. Bourgeois 8 pitches before he'd be struck out. First 3 innings kind of glided along rather gracefully for both teams. DeSclafani seems to have found his sea legs, and a little patch of rough water here for Greinke in the bottom of the 5th.
You've mentioned these Reds have just been hanging around here in this game. Zach Greinke is definitely on his game and pitched in a little bit of traffic, but you want to get the sweep. You want to get out of this inning and then put them away with the bats.
Zach Greinke has given up more than 3 runs only twice all year, and this is his 26th start. Watch out. They're having a tug of war down there.
That goes into the stands. 3 people end up with it. 1 person at the end slips out.
See, the Phillies have said they're going to start putting some netting up down the first base line and third base lines. Here's the 2-2. Lined into left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Bruce will be held at third. Ethier gets it in quickly. And now the Reds are in business, first and third and 1 out. And Barnhart is 2 for 2.
Just a little blooper, kind of fading away, that 2-seamer slash changeup at 90 miles an hour, and then Bruce doesn't do a very good job reading that. He's got to know where the outfielders are, where the ball will hit after it goes over Jimmy Rollins' head. He could have probably scored on that ball, but the Dodgers catch a break that he had a bad read and a bad jump.
Talking with third base coach Jim Riggleman. Billy Hatcher has been around here forever as the first base coach. Hatcher spent some time, first base coach in Tampa as well. So here's DeSclafani. Turner even with the bag at third. DeSclafani squares to bunt and fouls it back. It's 0-1.
DeSclafani squaring around early, and they're just sacrificing the runner from first, but you can't fall asleep if he squares around early and not think they're not going to squeeze. A little conversation here between Jim Riggleman and DeSclafani. Not the most adept bunter. He struck out attempting to bunt his first at bat.
He has had 2 sacrifices this year. Van Slyke at first base, having taken over for Adrian Gonzalez, fouled one off his knee. Now here's DeSclafani squaring again, and he bunts it off to the right. 0-2. So if Greinke can get DeSclafani a third of the way closer to getting out of the 5th, Schumacher, who's 1 for 2, is on deck. 0-2. Takes it back in the nick of time. It's 1-2.
That goes with the slider low and away, and he does pull it back. Almost had a called strike there. Ball was real close.
On 1-2, DeSclafani fouls it back. Second time he's done that, and he's hearing it from the crowd. 6th strikeout for Greinke, who tips his cap and says thank you very much.
That goes a slider away, and then he goes fastball up and in, which is the hardest pitch to bunt. Starts coming at your head, and you start bat. When the ball's above the bat, you're supposed to take it. Anytime you feel your right hand as a right-handed bunter start to go up, if you've put the bat at the top of the strike zone and you have to start raising the bat up, you just pull it back, put it on your shoulder. It's a ball.
So now everybody but Van Slyke and Turner out on the hill. So you've got Utley and Rollins and Grandal and Greinke trying to get on the same page just in case Barnhart tries to go. Tying run, Jay Bruce at third base with 2 out. Schumacher struck out swinging in the first at bat and lined to left for a base hit. High and away, 1 ball, no strikes. "27 pitches for Greinke here in the 5th inning. Schumacher takes a strike, 1-1. Dodgers fly home. Cubs over the weekend. The Giants Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then down to San Diego for 4, Anaheim for 3. Next off day for the Dodgers, not till September the 10th. But of course, the reinforcements will begin to arrive on Tuesday, September the 1st. All of that goes into the managerial decisions of when to go to the bullpen and to whom. The 2-1, Schumacher takes a strike, 2-2.
Zach Greinke trying to get in the dugout right here and keep the 0 up on the board. Pitch count, that the work that is taken in this inning, definitely almost assures the fact that the bullpen is going to have to pitch for the 3rd day in a row.
And early in the game, high leverage pitches. The 2-2. Got him swinging. That'll end the inning. Schumacher breaks his bat in frustration and disgust on the 7th strikeout of the game for Zach Greinke. Here it comes. And there it goes. Stefani tried to sacrifice and fouled out. Schumacher would strike out and break his bat in disgust. Chase Utley begins the 6th for the Dodgers and takes a strike. It's 0-1. It'll be Utley, Van Slyke, and Turner to bat. Wind is now blowing a bit from left field toward right. This, of course, is a home run hitter's park. Utley takes inside and low.
Looks like right now the short porch is definitely to right field because of that wind. It's been knocking down some balls to center. We haven't seen very many balls hit the left.
Utley, an infield hit and a strikeout. Takes a strike, and it's 1-2. Giants and Cubs tonight, Dan Haren and Madison Bumgarner. A lot of space in left center for Utley, who gets hit by a pitch on 1-2. So that's a gift the Dodgers happily take.
Trying to throw that down and in breaking ball, and he throws it too far in, too far down. Gets him right off the left toe there.
Now Van Slyke, his first at bat of the day. Gonzalez in the 3rd inning fouled one off the knee. Van Slyke takes a strike, 0-1. Van Slyke last night, 2 for 5, a single and a home run.
1 bloop, 1 blast.
And his first home run in 2 months. Popped up, right side. Phillips had trouble tracking it initially. First out of the 6th inning.
A little bit of that wind. Brandon Phillips giving Joey Votto a hard time, like, look where I'm at. Look where I caught this. It's your territory, big guy.
Wearing the shades on the bill of the cap. Well, it looks good. Turner has a single in 2 at-bats and has scored the only run of the game. Justin Turner was drafted by Cincinnati in 2006, and he's always been a Cincinnati Red. But after Cincinnati, he was on to Baltimore, the Mets, and now in his 2nd season with the Dodgers. 340 last year. And a career high 15 home runs this year, taking inside. He had 15 career home runs coming into this season. But his bat has been quiet the past couple of weeks. Of course, he had that skin infection. Put him on the DL. Frazier, Phillips, and Votto. That's it. No runs, no hits, a hit batsman, and nobody left after 5.5. The Dodgers continue to nurse a 1-0 lead. And Todd Frazier stepping in. 0 for 2, line to left, and he's been struck out. And fouls it back. It's 0-1. Dodgers 1-0, but they're letting the Reds hang around. 1-1 to Todd Frazier, who's on a pace to have a season with 37 home runs, 97 RBIs, 49 doubles, and 88 extra base hits. Popped up. Who's going to take charge? Van Slyke. Halfway between home and first, and that's the first out of the 6th.
Boy, this wind's blowing. Everybody had to come in and participate in that one, and Scott Van Slyke at the beginning of the pop-up was probably the last option. By the time the wind blew it, we saw last inning Brandon Phillips came over and caught one in Joey Votto's territory at first base. The wind is really gusting from left to right.
Every pitcher wants a quick, efficient inning, none more so than Greinke after throwing 31 in the 5th. Now Votto always seems to see a lot of pitches. He's walked 107 times and has been struck out 100 times. Takes a ball outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
It's no time to save pitches right now as far as strategy for Zach Greinke and Yasmani Grandal. This is probably the last time that Zach will go through this heart of the order.
Phillips on deck. Votto takes low, and it's 2-0.
Effective starting pitchers, especially ones that have won Cy Young and are in the Cy Young race this year. You have multiple ways of getting people out. Right now, whatever you feel is the best way to get somebody out in a 1-0 game, you go to the well.
Votto's bounced to short, flied to center. Here's a 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1.
Best batting average in baseball in a 2-1 count is at the plate, 494. 26 home runs over the course of his career in a 2-1 count.
Now it's 3-1.
Glad that's over with.
So you got Greinke and Kershaw there in the top 6. Arrieta pitching for the Cubs against the Dodgers this weekend. And Votto takes another walk. That's the second walk given up by Greinke. With 1 out and 1 on in the bottom of the 6th, Brandon Phillips is coming up.
I know it's not the 9th inning, but right now it's Zach Greinke trying to save his own game. Heart of the order, the power hitters coming up. Pitch around Votto and give up the walk, and now you got to get some guys out.
Phillips, always a dangerous customer, is 0 for 2 today, with 10 home runs and 49 runs batted in. Phillips 3 for 25 in his career against Greinke. With a fly ball to right. Puig having trouble with that wind that we've been talking about. He's able to track it down.
Yeah, that wind and then the spin. A right-handed hitter hitting the ball to right field. It is going to curve towards the foul line, and it's really accentuated by the wind. And at the very end, you see the ball loses its velocity, so the wind really takes over, and Yasiel has to put it into another gear to catch that 1 time and a half right there as it almost pops out.
Use the glove like a high-lie cesta. Eugenio Suarez, and it's 0-1. He's flied to right and struck out. Jay Bruce on deck. A run and 5 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 3 hits for the Reds. Greinke misses outside. Votto has stolen 7 out of 9. And Grandal has thrown out 24% of would-be base stealers. 14 out of 63. There's a strike. 1-2. Jay Bruce is next. Ethier, Puig, and Grandal will hit for the Dodgers in the 7th. The 1-2 from Greinke. Swung on and missed, strike 3. 8th strikeout of the afternoon for Zach Greinke. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left. 8 strikeouts on the afternoon for Zach Greinke. 6 and a 5.85 ERA. But today, he's had the better of the Dodgers most of the time. Ethier fouls it into the dirt, 0-1. Andres 2 for 2.
He has looked really good out there on the mound for the young fella. You know, I thought he was starting to hit a wall when I saw what his ERA was doing here in August. Because in the minor leagues, he was only throwing around 130, 140 innings, and now he's up to 143 coming into this game. It looks like he's got a little second wind. Got to get used to that workload at the big league level. And the 162 game schedule is a lot longer than the minor league season.
This is his 25th start, 7-9 and a 3.97 ERA. And Ethier is 3 for 3. Loops a single into left. So let's see what the Dodgers can do with a leadoff runner.
Broke his bat on this hit. We saw the feature with him at Louisville Slugger, and this one is strong enough to get the ball to the outfield right off the end of the bat. Drops the top hand to extend. Slightly fooled on the pitch, but able to keep the bat on plane.
Yasiel Puig stepping in. Puig is 1 for 2. Now has a 10-game hitting streak. DeSclafani deals, and he fouls it back. It's 0-1. It is part of a team's budget to purchase bats over the course of a season. And it's not uncommon for a team to spend upwards of $150,000, $160,000 a year on bats. And so when they are broken, thank you and move on to the next one.
You can find them in the gift store. Even the broken ones.
It's like leftovers the morning after. On 1-1. Outside. 2 balls and a strike. And different players use different bats from different companies. So Puig at his 10-game hitting streak await the 2-1. It is now 2-2.
So many different shapes and sizes and lengths and weights of bats. And then they have codes on when the bat was originally designed and by who. I used a W248, which was a Ted Williams model, 3331. It's a very interesting room there at Louisville Slugger where they have all the original bats of guys.
2 balls, 2 strikes. You ever pick up a Babe Ruth bat?
Oh my gosh, the bats have changed in wavelength.
It was a telephone pole.
Yeah. The technology now that they can use to build a bat to make it lighter and thinner handle. Back then, yeah, it was really thick.
In the hole at short, Suarez, some play to get Ethier at second base. Eugenio Suarez has been very impressive in the 6 games in which he's played against the Dodgers.
A little Brandon Crawford in him right there. That was an outstanding play. We said there's not much flair in his game. He's just been rock solid. Well, right there, that was an over-the-top play.
So now 1 out and 1 on as Grandal stepping in. Grandal, his first game back, has bounced into a pair of double plays. And it looks like it's going to be 3 of them. 1 and 2. Tough day at the office for Yasmani Grandal, who's bounced into 3 double plays this afternoon. We've arrived at the 7th inning stretch, and Don Matt pitches through 6. He has struck out 8, walked 2. And Jay Bruce on the first pitch. Grounds to Utley. Frankie and the Dodgers say thank you very much. Jason Bourgeois coming up. And for Greinke, his next pitch will be his 100th.
Just had 1 rough inning, and if you call it rough just because of workload, still got the shutout intact.
In the 5th inning, 31 pitches. He would eventually strike out the side and leave runners at the corners. Bourgeois, an 8-pitch at bat in that 5th inning, and he would eventually strike out. One ball and 1 strike. So the speedy Billy Hamilton on the shelf with a bad shoulder. Bourgeois is taken over in center. In the hole, Rollins won't even attempt to throw. Keenly aware of who was running, Rollins just put it in his hip pocket.
Little chopper just happens to be in the right place because he's so fast. Justin Turner has to be in at the corner, so this ball's going to get by him and Jimmy Rollins shading him up the middle. So that hole was an infield hit.
Now Barnhart, 2 for 2, couple of singles to left. He's a switch hitter. And this one to left. Ethier is there, an easy play. Brian Pena is now going to pinch hit for Anthony DeSclafani, who did a great job for the Reds this afternoon. 7 innings, 1 run, 6 hits. He struck out 6, walked 1. .99 pitches and 62 for strikes.
Pena coming up right here. Rick Honeycutt giving the bullpen a little bit of time. Zach Greinke giving him a scouting report. Chris Hatcher on the left. J.P. Howell on the right getting ready. They just got up about 30 seconds ago. So Rick Honeycutt, they always time their visits with making sure they get time for the bullpen.
Oh, here's a note that Yasmani Grandal can live without. He is the 4th Dodger ever to bounce into 3 double plays in one game. Milton Bradley in 2004, Gary Sheffield in 2000, and Johnny Hudson in 1938.
Hudson could really run, too.
Like a river. Two out as Pena is pinch hitting for DeSclafani. And Greinke quickly ahead, 0-2.
This is the changeup slash two-seamer from Zach Greinke. He hadn't thrown many of these today, but this is a dandy right here. Bottom dropped out of that.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. We're in the bottom half of the 7th. Greinke and the Dodgers 1-0. And the 0-2 to Pena. Just gets a piece of it. Pena's not hit a home run all year, but in the first game, pinch hitting. He hit one deep down the right field line and it hooked foul at the last instant. Again with Devin Mesoraco out with the hip all year. It has been Pena and Barnhart who've done the duties behind the plate. And now on 0-2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Looked like Greinke had no interest in throwing a strike on that pitch.
It looked like he's setting something up right here. He's been going away, away, away. Come slider down and in. I don't think he will because of the wind situation. He wants to keep the ball away from right field in the air.
Which is what he just did, missing outside, 2-2. Skip Schumacher on deck. Now the 2-2 on the way. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Zach Greinke's final pitch of the day is his 9th strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. He came into the game with the lowest ERA in Major League Baseball at 1.67, and he leaves the game with an ERA of 1.61. Here's J.J. Hoover. What a year he's turned in. Big right-hander will face Peterson. Carl Crawford to pinch hit. And then Jimmy Rollins. Peterson takes high and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Peterson is grounded to short and has been struck out. Dodgers 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Right on it, just missing it. Timing was good.
Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire, in his 17th big league season. Here's the 1-1 high, 2-1. So you've got Peterson with Crawford on deck, and then the top of the order, Jimmy Rollins. Inside 3-1. DeSclafani did a great job for the Reds today. 7 innings, a run and 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, and just 1 walk. Greinke just a little bit better. And now it's going to be up to the Dodger bullpen on 3-1. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Here's the count that Jock finds himself in an awful lot. Pitchers don't want to throw him strikes, and if he doesn't swing, he gets a 3-ball count. And when he does swing, he has a lot of foul balls and swings and misses. So he ends up in this 3-2 count. We've seen him walking down to first base thinking he's got ball 4.
The Reds have the shift on. Peterson since July 26 over the past month hitting .093. Takes high and away, ball 4. So he gets a walk, a leadoff walk here in the 8th. Boy, those leadoff walks late in games seem to loom large almost all the time.
Especially in a 1-0 game right here. Carl Crawford coming up.
Hoover in 54 2/3. That was his 23rd walk. So here is Crawford. Let's see if the Dodgers can get some insurance here. Call strike, 0-1. Crawford's never faced Hoover before. There's a strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Hoover 6'3", 250. Born in Pittsburgh, lives in Cincinnati, and on 0-2. Crawford nearly hit by a pitch. We had a corkscrew out of the way of that one.
And as he tries to get out of the way, it looks like his almost twists his ankle. His spike gets caught. The back foot twists. I was worried about him when he's going down here. Look at that back ankle.
One ball, 2 strikes. And down on strikes. Got up there in a hurry. One out, one on, and Jimmy Rollins is coming up.
We've seen Jimmy Rollins in this series with the home run to right field and the hole at bat. He was looking for something hard and getting right on top of the plate and looking to pull. I wouldn't be surprised he doesn't use the same strategy right here against Hoover.
Rollins 2 for 3 in his brief encounters with Hoover. Came up in the Brave organization and was traded over here 3 years ago for Juan Francisco, power hitting infielder who never did really pan out. Inside. He's not afraid to come inside, is he?
No, and he will loosen you up a little bit as hard as he throws. He does a good job hiding the ball too behind that big body.
Chase Utley on deck. Peterson leads from first. Into the camera well. And apparently near a microphone. 1-2. It's dangerous business down there being a camera fellow. Outfield straightaway for Rollins. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2.
Jimmy got rescued by Laz Diaz behind the plate. That ball was right there.
So the reprieve from the governor. It's 2-2. Peterson leads from first. Rollins takes inside. Was able to check his swing according to third base umpire Jeff Nelson, the crew chief.
Outstanding block by Barnhart. You check the side swing. Jimmy getting real close to a strikeout. Maybe he can make it hurt now.
Full count, 1 out. Might Peterson be running? Jock has only 3 stolen bases all year. There he goes. Pitch is grounded foul up the first base line.
Hoover's very quick to the plate.
Peterson stole 30 last year at AAA. Only 3 out of 9 this year. 1 out, 1 on, 1-0 Dodgers, top half of the 8th.
Joey Votto's got to be ready over there. If Hoover picks off, he let it loose. He threw about a 90-mile-an-hour fastball to first.
You get a sense there's not a whole lot subtle about J.J. Hoover. Here you are. Come and get it. There goes Peterson. High ball 4. So the Dodgers now first and second with 1 man out. Given yet another gift by Hoover. And Chase Utley coming up.
Chase Utley can turn around anybody's fastball. He is an outstanding fastball hitter.
Has faced Hoover twice, 0 for 2. Been hit by a pitch. Infield hitting a strikeout today. Fastball, 94, strike 1. For Utley, this is his 6th start with the Dodgers. Has 4 base hits, 2 singles, 2 doubles. Peterson is at second, Rollins at first, so good speed on the bases.
Zach Greinke has been hit for from Carl Crawford. He's out of the game. The bullpen will be in the game, and it would make it a lot easier on the guys out there in the pen who have done the job in this series. They get an insurance run this inning. Zach would sure appreciate it.
Top of the order for the Reds in the bottom of the 8th. Schumacher, Frazier, and Votto. Now on 0-2, Utley hit by a pitch for the 2nd time today. And now the Dodgers, 2 walks, a hit batsman, bases loaded, 1 out, and Van Slyke coming up.
Chase Utley from the camp of I will not rub it, got hit on the foot and did not limp, did not even look for any help, and on this one, right off the right shoulder, tossed the bat. Let's go down there.
I'll rub it when nobody's looking. So Jeff Pico goes out to try to settle down Hoover. In 1-run games this year, the Dodgers are 16-21, and the Reds are 17-25. Las Diaz goes out to break up the party. Scott Van Slyke with a home run last night. It was a solo blast. When it landed, it was 392 feet from home plate. Van Slyke takes a ball outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Van Slyke came into the game. Adrian Gonzalez fouled one off his knee in the 3rd inning. Van Slyke, in 1 at-bat, popped to second. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 ball and 1 strike, 95.
Hoover has a tendency to walk people, 54 2/3 innings, 22 walks, but that was his first hit batter of the year.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1-0 Dodgers. Breaking ball for a strike, 1-2. The Dodgers had bases loaded, nobody out of the 2nd inning. They managed 1 run. Grandal would bounce into a double play. Las Diaz doesn't want to hear it. Getting ridden from the bench from Don Mattingly. One and 2 to Van Slyke. High and away. Jock Peterson, the runner at 3rd base. Jimmy Rollins at 2nd. Utley at 1st. And none of them put the ball in play. Here's a 2-2 to Van Slyke. Do it again. Justin Turner on deck.
You have to sit fastball, 96 miles an hour. You got to sit fastball and adjust to the breaking ball.
In Houston and Oakland, the Dodgers combined for 2 for 26 with runners in scoring position. Now the 2-2. Grounded to third. Frazier, Phillips, Votto. Dodgers leave the bases loaded as Van Slyke bounces into the double play. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Schumacher, Frazier, and Joey Votto will be coming up. Dodgers have had any number of legitimate scoring opportunities. They've cashed in just 1 run, and that was on a double play. Back in the 2nd inning, Dodgers have bounced into what, 5 double plays?
5 double plays, 10 outs on double plays.
And 2 of them with the bases loaded. So here's Hatcher to face Schumacher, Frazier, and Votto, the first 3 in the Reds lineup.
Chris Hatcher throwing the ball better since he came off the DL. Throughout the whole year, though, he has reverse splits. Right-handers hit him better than left-handers. Right-handers hit him at a 305 clip. Left-handers only hit him at a 207 clip. That's because of the fastball splitter combination to the lefties, and the slider early in the year wasn't up to par, so the righties got to him.
Schumacher 1 for 2. Now it's no balls and 2 strikes. Hatcher's 33rd appearance, 23 strikeouts in 22 innings, but an ERA of 5 3/4. The 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, the last 6 outs of Dodger games this season have been entirely too adventurous. But he strikes out Schumacher. Skip has been struck out 3 times today, and that's the first out of the 8th. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Todd Frazier stepping in. He's always dangerous. 29 home runs. And there's a fly ball to left field. Ethier going back. He's at the wall, and he'll make the catch. What do you think Hatcher was thinking?
Well, I'm glad the wind's blowing in from left. That has enough on a normal day here, but with the wind blowing in, you see Andre able to pull up, and that ball's actually coming back towards the infield as it comes down.
The wind was not a factor in the first 2 games. It's been blowing around sporadically this afternoon. Votto takes outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Of course, you've got the bleachers in the upper deck and the scoreboard in left, which could cause the wind to swirl over there. It's like Hatcher may have caught a break. That changes the dynamic of this ballpark. Out to right, you've got wide open spaces and a big old river. 2-0 to Votto, 0 for 2 and a walk. Now it's 3 balls and no strikes. Brandon Phillips on deck. A run and 6 hits for the Dodgers, no runs, 4 hits for the Reds. 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. The 8th inning was pivotal in each of the first 2 games. And Votto takes a 4-pitch walk. 2 more free passes for Votto on this Thursday afternoon in Cincinnati.
Be careful on the first pitch right here. Brandon Phillips will crank it. Rick Honeycutt's going out there to talk to him about it. Right now, Rick is going over pitch selection, which way the wind's blowing, where it's carrying best. I would think they're going to want to try and get Brandon Phillips to hit the ball to right field or to center field, keep it away from left field. He is a very strong pull hitter, and I know the wind's blowing in from left, but that's where he likes to hit.
Laz Diaz breaking up the party. You don't want to mess with Laz Diaz. He's an old Marine. His 17th big league season. Was a Marine and built like a tank. Brandon Phillips 0 for 3. 1 for 4 last night. And 2 for 4 on Tuesday. 2 out, bottom of the 8th. No balls and 1 strike to Phillips. At 285, 10 home runs, 49 runs batted in.
No doubles in the outfield. Jock Peterson and Yasiel Puig almost on the warning track. Andre Ethier is back there too. So they're going to cut the gaps down, keep Votto from scoring from first. The ball ends up between them.
A lot of space in left center for Phillips. He's got 12 doubles on the year. And that one got a piece of Grandal. Has missed the last 5 days because his body's beat up and he took another licking.
Looked like he got one right on the inside part of his right knee. He lost Adrian Gonzalez already on a foul ball that he hit off his own knee, and now this foul ball
just above the shin protector. Just above where it ends on the knee. And Stan Conti's been spending an awful lot of time these days with Grandal, coming out to make sure he's all right. That's a tough way to make a living.
Back of his legs, he's got the knee saver pads that catchers can use to rest on when they go into their squat. It takes the pressure off their knee, but you can actually sit on those. It takes the pressure off the knees, but when that swelling gets in there, it doesn't matter if you got the knee savers or not.
0-2 to Phillips. 2 out in the 8th. Votto's at first. The Dodgers with a 1-0 lead. Phillips gets another pitch.
Even in the 0-2 count, he is not getting cheated. He's letting it go. Last pitch was a split finger that stayed up a little bit.
Phillips in his 11th big league season. The better defensive second baseman of his era. 276 lifetime hitter. 0-2. Hatcher set. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brandon Phillips.
Osmani with a very definitive target. Down, 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 please. Look where that glove is, and then he is ready to block it, calling for the ball in the dirt. Hatcher got it right by keeping it down. Wanted to get it away, though. That ball had a tendency to be back over the plate.
Phillips came over to the Reds in 2006 from the Indians, originally drafted by the old Montreal Expos. Hatcher came over in the winter from the Marlins. 1-2, 2 out. Laz Diaz exhorting Hatcher to get on with it. Hatcher to Phillips. Watch out. Third base coach Jim Riggleman.
This is where Chris Hatcher really has to control his emotions. He hasn't been able to find a pitch to get by Brandon Phillips. You start to get frustrated thinking you're going to have to throw one harder or throw one better, and you have a tendency then to hang it because you overthrow it. You got to still remember that location is the most important part of this pitch.
And here it comes. Ground ball to short. Rollins with the flip to Utley, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, a walk-in. One man left. We will go to the ninth with Turner, Ethier, and Puig coming up, and the Dodgers leading the Reds 1-0. So Sunday, Jake Arrieta, who's got a lower ERA than Kershaw does, against Alex Wood. And here is Aroldis Chapman. An ERA of 1 3/4. 90 strikeouts and 50 2/3. First time I saw him was 2009 in the World Baseball Classic. He was, at that point, nothing but a rumor. Now they're playing baseball juggernaut South Africa. And it was like the Lilliputians against the Giant.
Wow.
And he's throwing 100, 102, whatever it was. And these fellas from South Africa were wide-eyed and intimidated. And it was...
They didn't want to get in the batter's box.
They wanted to go home. And so he goes through them. And again, they had a pitch limit in the first round of the WBC. Here's Turner on 2-0. High and away, 3 balls and no strikes. And he mows them down. Next day, one of the Cuban team administrators, not necessarily coach, manager, an administrator, comes over. We're talking. On 3-0, Turner takes a strike, 3-1. And he said through an interpreter, how much do you suppose you Americans would pay for him? And I said, I don't know, but I'd rent the boat. Within 6 months, Chapman had defected. They all knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when and how. And Walt Jocketty made the big investment on Chapman, and it has paid off. So Turner, the leadoff walk in the ninth. And Kike Hernandez is going to come up and pitch hit for Andre Ethier. In 2009, that's 6.5 years ago now. Hernandez, who's been red hot, takes a strike, 0-1.
Chapman is the story of this inning because of his velocity and how good he is, but the Dodgers would love to get an insurance run.
I don't know which was harder, the pitch or the swing. Both left a residue.
Probably some smiles on the out in the Dodger dugout. Boy, he really slipped on a banana right there.
Oops. No balls and 2 strikes to Kike Hernandez.
Got to be something about center field that makes our guys swing hard. Kike, they don't get cheated.
Well, if you're going to throw it 100 miles an hour, might as well swing it 100 miles an hour. 1-2.
What happened to the theory about just solid contact? Let Chapman supply the power.
Two and two with Puig on deck. There goes the runner. Ground ball up the middle, off the glove of Phillips and into center field. Boy, did the Dodgers ever catch a break. That one skipped on the sure fielding Phillips. The Dodgers have first and third, nobody out. Phillips was going to cover what might have been a throw. Instead, the Dodgers first and third.
A lot going on in his peripheral vision. Not only is he trying to catch the ball, but he knows Justin Turner is bearing down on him. It takes a tough hop. Turner slides in, touches the bag with his hand, and then heads over to third. And now the Dodgers are in business.
They give Phillips an error.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's going to be changed.
That, yes, got to be.
There's no way that's an error.
As great a defender as Phillips has been throughout his big league career, going on 11 seasons, that thing handcuffed him. Well, either way, the Dodgers have first and third, nobody out, and a chance for a very important insurance run. And here's Chapman and Puig. 1 ball, no strikes. Puig is 1 for 3. He's extended his hitting streak to 10. The Reds have to bring the infield in. One ball and no strikes to Puig. A changeup at 85. Just a 15-mile disparity between the previous fastball and the let-up. Jim Johnson is warming up in the Dodger bullpen. Jansen 23 pitches last night. Here's the 1-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Trying to run that slider in on his hands, and he's getting it there.
Well, this is a glorious opportunity for the Dodgers, but they've left the bases loaded. Had the bases loaded, nobody out in the second inning. They scored 1. Now the 1-2, up and in, 2-2. Had the bases loaded in the 8th inning, unable to score. And now first and third, nobody out in the 9th.
You are facing a guy that has 50 2/3 innings pitched and 90 strikeouts.
Not by accident either.
It is not a given that you're going to score with a man on third and no out.
Infield in, the 2-2. Good go around.
Really good take. You're gearing up for a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. And he throws a down and in slider, and you just flinch a little bit. World-class vision picking up that ball and stopping. It's so hard because you want to swing the bat really quick to catch up with the 100-mile-an-hour fastball, then to stop the bat. Some strong hands.
On 3-2, runner goes, and a foul back and out of play.
Good fortune when the Dodgers started Justin Turner, and then Kike hit the ground ball up the middle that was ruled the error by Brandon Phillips. I think that'll get changed.
Well, with the infield in, Kike can practically walk to second base because Phillips would have to retreat so quickly.
As long as he gets a jump, making sure Chapman goes home. There he goes to first.
Entirely too close.
It'll be interesting if Yasiel would happen to strike out and Kike is running, what the Reds do with the ball if Barnhart goes down to Phillips, and what Justin Turner then does at third.
Chapman and Puig. Aroldis Chapman, 6'4", 215. (27 years of age), and on 3-2, there goes Hernandez. A little number up the first base line. A run will score, and Puig crosses first base, but with a limp. Turner remains at third base, and now the Dodgers will have a look-see at Puig in the leg.
Chopper out there. Yasiel smells hit. Justin Turner freezes, which was the right play, and Yasiel's pulling up with the right leg. Davey Lopes immediately calling for help from the bench. Right there, it's right at the bag is where he feels it all the time when he takes that little extra length to his stride.
Tightened up on him, and now Conti wants to make sure it's sufficiently loose and sufficiently pain-free for him to continue. Now Conti will talk with Mattingly and Lopes and Puig. This is as much the trainer's call as it is anybody else's.
I think they're going to take him out. Yasiel just slammed his helmet down. They're just telling him, you know, come on. If you felt it enough to call us out and you were limping 2 or 3 steps after the bag, we're not taking any chances.
After today, there are 36 games left. So Puig with the infield hit, but his day is done. They're going to need a pinch runner. They've got only A.J. Ellis and Alex Guerrero, and Guerrero's not exactly a speedster. Crawford is pinch hit. Kike Hernandez, he's out there now. So is Van Slyke. Alex Wood didn't want to go out of the game on Tuesday night. Now I think he wants to get into the game to pinch run.
He also only a couple of hitters away from the pitcher slot. So if you put Guerrero out there, you lose your pinch hitter. You might think about pinch running a pitcher. Yeah, but you've just got to tell him if it's Clayton or whoever it is, a starting pitcher pinch run to save the bat.
They may be going out to the bullpen to bring in the pinch runner. Clayton would like to go in.
That's what they're doing. I think they're going to take a helmet down there. Somebody in the pen is going to run.
It's like Juan Nicasio coming out.
So he was going to have a day off anyway from pitching. Juan Nicasio threw 6 pitches yesterday, and the day before threw 15. So they were going to probably not pitch him today. Davey Lopes is going to have to give him a very quick tutorial on running the bases.
So the Dodgers with the bases loaded, second time with nobody out. 1-0 in the ninth. Nicasio pinch running for Puig. And a strike, 0-1 to Yasmani Grandal. Grandal saying, oh, gee, I got to hit again. 0 for 3 today, and has bounced into 3 double plays, including with the bases loaded and nobody out in the second. Infield is in. Swinging a foul off to the right and out of play. This is not the first time in the past week, in fact, that Yasiel Puig has not come up lame. On Tuesday in Oakland, very similar play. Stretching out, trying to beat out an infield hit. Just as he crossed the finish line, he came up lame. He'd miss a couple of games. Now he's out of this one. The 0-2. Grandal takes high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Grandal, born and raised in Cuba, came over when he was about 10 years old. Grew up in Miami. He would be drafted by the Reds 6 years ago. The 1-2.
This is big for Yasmani. I know it's 1-2, but with Jock Peterson on deck, as much as he strikes out, and he's going to have to face Aroldis Chapman.
Lefty against lefty to boot.
They get an out here without the Dodgers scoring a run. It's going to get a lot harder to get that run in.
Turner at third. Kike Hernandez at second. Juan Nicasio pinch running at first. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike three. 100 miles an hour, shoulder high.
Slow him down with the slider, get the foul ball, come back with the cheese. It's so hard to lay off at home. You're going, why'd he swing at the ball so high? Well, guy swings that hard, you've got to start early.
Well, here's Peterson. 0 for 2 and a walk. 205 against left-handed pitcher. .213 against everybody. Fouls it off to the left, and it's 0-1. A walk, an error, an infield hit. Weeks hamstring barking. He has to come out of the game. Nicasio pinch running for him at first. Dodgers scored the only run of the game in the second inning when they had the bases loaded and nobody out. Grandal bounced into a double play. And now, with one out, Peterson pops it foul off to the left. Frazier is there. Barnhart never saw it. And now Chapman is 2/3 of the way out of the mess.
With this wind here today, the pop-ups have been an adventure for both the Dodgers and the Reds.
Now Alex Guerrero. So another Cuban matchup. This has been yet another frustrating game for the Dodgers. They've had ample opportunity to take the Reds out. Guerrero pops it up. Frazier is there. And the Dodgers squander a bases loaded, nobody out situation in the ninth and come up empty. Jim Johnson will pitch for the Dodgers in the bottom of the ninth against Eugenio Suarez, Jay Bruce, and Jason Boyd. And for Jim Johnson, of course, it's been a patch of bad road since coming to the Dodgers. He delivers a strike, 0-1 to Suarez, who is 0 for 3. Dodgers have left 8 men on and a fly ball to center field. Drifting on back is Peterson for the first out of the ninth.
Peterson had a nice route on that ball, Jock did, and Jim Johnson coming in attacking with strikes with the two-seamer and the curveball.
Well, that's the first out of the ninth. And here comes Jay Bruce. Taking inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Johnson, the third pitcher of the day. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Bruce has bounced to second twice and has walked. A run and 7 hits for the Dodgers. No runs and 4 hits for the Reds. Whacked into center. Here comes Peterson to track it down. 2 out. A line drive tailing away from the young center fielder. There's 2 gone.
Ball's hit good, line drive, and watch Jock chase it down. Plenty of steps left in that route. Good jump, good speed. He could have covered another 20 feet.
So now the Dodgers are 1 out away from a 3-game sweep of the Reds. Bourgeois, 1 for 3, takes a strike, and it's 0-1. That one was lathered off the bat of Bruce. The 0-1. Fastball outside at 95, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Dodgers an out away from their 70th win. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string, and Bourgeois way out in front, 1-2.
Curveball here gets him 1 strike away from rescuing this road trip for a sweep of the Reds.
Now the 1-2. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Every department had to come through here in Cincinnati. The starting pitchers, defense, the bullpen, and the offense.
On 2-2. High and inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tucker Barnhart, switch hitting catcher, on deck. Johnson on 3-2. The pitch to Bourgeois. Swung on. He just got a piece of it. Johnson looking for his first save with the Dodgers. Here's a 3-2. Ground ball, second base, easy hop for Utley, throws to first, and the Dodgers complete a 3-game sweep of the Cincinnati Reds, and in the process recording their 18th shutout of the season. But it wasn't easy. The Dodgers win 1-0. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors. They left 8. Cincinnati, no runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and they left 7. Johnson with the save. Greinke with his 14th win. He is the Lexus player of the game. Greinke goes 7 innings, no runs, 4 hits, struck out 9 and walked 2. And the Dodgers go home at the moment leading the Giants by 3, awaiting the Chicago Cubs, a 3-game series over the weekend. Next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the Giants come to town. That's a wrap from the Great American Ballpark. For Alana Rizzo and Oral Hershiser, Charlie Steiner saying good night and goodbye. And now we send it back to Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by Nissan. See you tomorrow in Los Angeles.